Everybody, Kyle Lost, Matt Wenzel here at Little Caesars Arena after Michigan State's 55-53 loss to Syracuse in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Here are the three takeaways. We're going to talk about the game itself first. And Matt, I told you afterwards, I don't remember as many huge games that to me come down or simpler than this one. And to me, it was just Michigan State could not make a shot to save its life on them. And there were a couple other things that they did wrong, but I thought far and away that was the biggest reason they lost this game.
Yeah, it was atrocious shooting. I mean, they shot 28.6%, which is the lowest in 6 years. I think you found 17 of 66 from the field. They were getting open looks from the very beginning, very start of the game. Open looks, and they just could not knock anything down. It was. I don't know what else to say. They just couldn't make shots.
I think the zone had something to do with it, certainly. The 2-3 zone, it forced them into 37 three-point attempts, which is way more than they want. And they weren't getting the high percentage shots down in Nick Ward. That's only going to prevent you from getting that entry pass. And it's going to prevent you from doing a lot of things that they do. But still, 8 for 37 from three-point range is way below this team's average. And Syracuse contested some of them, but it was just one of those nights at the worst night of the year to not hit them. I mean, Josh Langford goes 7 for 10 the other night. We all think he snapped out of his slump, and then he goes 1 for 12 today. He misses 6 3-pointers. He missed, I think, 3 or 4 down the stretch in that game. They missed 12 straight to end the game. 13 straight to end the
Not
game.
Not counting Winston's.
Winston's one didn't count. I mean, there's other things we're going to talk about, but I just thought far and away they just had a terrible shooting night at the worst point.
And what's ironic is the hardest shot they probably took all night long, McQuaid's shot at the end of the first half, that goes in after he catches his block and throws it out the glass. So go figure that out.
Second takeaway is, you look at some of the minutes here and they look a little bit screwy, and I know a lot of fans are talking about this right now. Jaren Jackson, I just being the biggest one. Sat, I think, a 9-minute stretch in the second half. They had Ben Carter a lot, and I guess I'm somewhere in the middle of this. I don't think he was a great fit for that 2-3 zone offense. I think in the middle. I think we saw, especially in the first half, he didn't know what to do. He didn't make a lot of good passes. He didn't hit shots. I thought he had a little bit more success in the second half, but on the one hand, I don't blame them for going somewhere else to it, but I also think after a certain point, Ben Carter wasn't doing a whole lot anyway. I think at a certain point, and they did put him back in with 4 minutes, but I would have liked to see them say, listen, if we're going down with our NBA top 5 pick in there trying to do what he can. I guess that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this guy's widely projected as a lottery pick, and he's 0 for 4 scoreless. He hit 2 free throws. I mean, that's... I think you need to get more out of a guy like that when you have that much talent.
And you have a short prep. I have a feeling if they could have prepped more, maybe they could have set up some more stuff to get him more involved. But when you're just running basic zone offense, it's tough. But again, when nothing's working, I think, I feel like you just got to have your best guys in there. So I understand the criticism to an extent, but I'm also not sure that Jaren Jackson playing more minutes would have really made the difference here. And then third takeaway, I mean, just thinking about big picture, I mean, there's so much, you could think about with this team. I mean, we talked to the guys, potential NBA guys. Malik Bridges isn't saying he's leaving. Everybody expects him to leave. Jaren Jackson, people expect him to leave too. He wasn't talking about it. Nick Ward said that it's too early to tell if he'll put his name in the NBA draft, so that'll be one to watch. But, obviously this team started preseason number 2, and Malik Bridges came back here with national title. And it seemed like everybody was kind of struggling to make sense of that this season.
They got what they want. I mean, you had the most wins in regular season history.
Right.
You can argue what seed they've been on, but they got to play their first two games in Detroit, which is what you wanted all year. You had the home crowd, you had everything going in your favor, and you lose to a team that some people thought didn't belong in the tournament at all.
Right.
They're playing their third game in 5 days. Bridges said he couldn't believe they lost, and it wasn't until he saw his teammates crying that he realized it sunk in. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's a bitterly disappointing way for the season to end for a team that had basically his national title or bust.
Yeah, and it was, and players afterwards were trying to say, we won 30 games, most regular season wins in school history. You won the Big Ten title outright, and they did some things, but I just think college basketball is set up where if you have an early loss in this tournament, that's what this team is.
Yep.
And maybe that's not fair, and maybe it should be different, but the fact is that when people look back at this team, it's going to be the team that lost in the second round. Just as 2 years ago, there was a pretty darn good Michigan State team led by Denzel Valentine Did a lot of great things during the regular season, but the only thing you ever hear about that team is Middle Tennessee State. So this is college basketball. This is why we love it. But you know, and Michigan State has been on the other side of that plenty of times. But 2 out of 3 years, they've suffered these shocking upsets. It's almost like things are evening out. You know, Tom Izzo had the best of this tournament for so long, and it's kind of back to the drawing board. They haven't been on the first weekend in 3 years. 2 of them with teams that had national title potential. So it'll be interesting to see going forward. I think the talent level is going to take a dip next year. So it'll be interesting to see where things go from here with this program. That'll do it here from Little Caesars Arena. Plenty of coverage up at mlive.com/partners. Thanks for watching.